look at you. Just talking to you off camera, like everything, all your stories are like storytelling.
Thank you for saying that.
You are like just listening to your new album, which is great, and your stories. I mean, you have the mind of movie, of film, of theater. You know.
Thank you. I have a theatrical background, which I think is no secret at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college for it, and Stevens College in Columbia, Missouri, which actually the reason I went there was because I've never been like a traditional kid. I didn't have great grades because I never wanted to be in school. I was like that. My mother suggested, well, why don't we look at Stevens? It's a small women's liberal arts school, but Princeton Reviews had ranked it number 3 for theater in the country. And I didn't know that. It's because you get trained in every aspect of it. So I've run a lighting board before. I've run sound. I've built sets before. I have like a deep understanding of how every aspect of it works.
Yeah. Okay. But when did you realize, Kiely, like that you, I guess in a good way, we're different, that you saw things in a more abstract way, that you could like see the irony in things, you could see like the hero's journey in the little things. So,
That's a great question. I think, to be honest, I've always known it from the time I was a child. I did not feel things the way that everybody else does. I always think about every aspect of it. Like maybe what this one person might be feeling is not what everyone else is feeling. You know, if they're sort of the antagonist in any story, it's like, well, they're still feeling something and it's different from what these people are feeling.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make it not valid, any less valid, you know?
That's interesting. We were talking a little bit off camera about, whenever some of the challenges we face on a daily basis. Does that make it like good? I think it's in what I mean is this. Everyone's talking about mental health and all that. But the fact that you are able to realize, hey, like I'm having these issues right now, but everyone is going through their own adventure. Does that kind of help you, fight everyday obstacles and everyday, overcoming, knowing that, hey, you know what, like this is my journey, but it shall pass too, kind of thing?
I think so. I think just knowing that helps you get through things.
Yeah.
Because that might be your reality for right now, but that doesn't mean it'll be your reality in a month.
Exactly.
Or a week sometimes. You can go through moments where it feels like everything is caving in on you.
Yeah.
But then, I had moments recently where I felt like I kind of was panicking. I'm like, God, I have this new record. I hope everybody hears it. It's like stressful and you're so proud of it. It's like a little art baby that you made, right? So you want people to hear it, and then at first you get nervous. You're like, I don't have tour dates coming up. I don't have this and this and this. And it was those days I was on my way to do my showcase for my album for members of the press and stuff like that. And my manager called me and he's like, hey, by the way, we got these Matty Diaz dates. And I was like, there you go. Really, just in a couple hours, my whole energy shifted.
Yeah.
And it put me in a better place to do that showcase that night. And I felt like I'm proud of how it went. I did the whole album in order, which is why I put it together that way. I wanted the tracks to fit together.
My company's called, by the way, fantastic. Talk about shortlist for American Albums of the Year. Right out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, there's one of the great things about it is that there is like a strength in the storytelling. Basically, I was just listening all the way back from Virginia, like for 8 hours, just on the loop. There is like a resilience to it. There is a strength in the characters and the stories, many of which are autobiographical, and it leaves you feeling like, wow, like we're stronger than we think. We are, the life doesn't define us; it's how we react to them.
It absolutely is. That's a beautiful way to put it. And I would hope that I'm someone who's resilient. I think I am. I think I'm incredibly resilient, I've fallen down a lot in my life, and you just have to get back up.
Yeah.
Because you're not defined like you said, by what happens to you. You're defined by what you do with it and how you react to it.
Right. Yeah, it's a great thing. And yeah, I mean, some of the comparisons to like Patsy Cline and stuff, right? True. You love Patsy, right?
Favorite. She's my favorite.
What's her best song? Just Walking After Midnight? Is it?
No, definitely not. She
Definitely.
definitely not. Walking After Midnight is great. When I was a little girl, I'd be, bopping on that one. But there are so many beautiful ones. She's Got You is so great. I feel like as a woman, especially as a strong woman, you can relate a lot to those songs where it's like, you're not going to be the woman. You're going to be kind of on the outside seeing who someone else picked instead of you, which is a very relatable feeling.
Right.
An independent woman can be off-putting for some people, And I think Patsy's life was so inspiring to me, just her strength and how she kept going. And her voice is just timeless. She taught me how to sing, absolutely. I mean, my mother was a singer. It runs in my family. But I would listen to Patsy, and the way that old vocal mics would distort when she would sing into them is kind of what I try to do on my own, because vocal mics now are way different than they used to be. But you'll hear that little almost crack that she sings into. So I try to do that myself, because new mics don't do that. But she's got I've also got Leaving on Your Mind is one of my other favorite ones. If you've got Leaving on Your Mind, Tell Me Now, Get It Over. So good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like her, I think you're like a wordsmith in a way. Yeah, which makes sense. Because, by the way, are you one of those people that remembers like the lyrics to songs? Like if you're in a party and people start like jamming a song, like do you like remember the lyrics to like any song?
A lot of times, if it's a song that means something to me. Okay. Like I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. That's no secret. I talk about Bob like all the time. Neil Young. Did you go to his shows here? I saw Neil. Okay. Yeah, and I saw Bob at the Ryman. I was fifth row at the Ryman.
You were just giddy. He's like, that's Bob.
I just sit there like, he's just, Bob's my guy. He's always been my guy.
Yeah.
Because I love that. I mean, talk about somebody who went through a huge transition, right? And nowadays we look at it and we're like, what was so big about that transition? It's because he was labeled as this folk troubadour, right? And all of a sudden he just brings out an electric guitar and people didn't know what to do about it. They like booed him off stage. I love watching all those interviews where he's just like, what do you want from me? He said, I read a review that said everybody walked out or something like that. And he's like, maybe I should walk out. I love that.
That makes sense that you love Bob. You love Patty because also your songs are so like filled with beautiful words. Do you ever have like a nightmare that you step on stage and just forget like the words? That would be my worst nightmare if I was lead singer.
It has happened to me before. That's the thing is you get over that really quick because it will happen.
Yeah.
It happened to me when I did theater too. And that was the worst because I was in an operetta and my character was the contralto female lead. So it's, the woman who's kind of like, she's a character. She's got like the lower songs, more like not the soprano female lead. Right. And I came out and I had to sum up the whole story that people had been watching, like how all of this relates. Sure. And I sang the verses out of order and they didn't make any sense, which was humiliating.
I'm sure the audience didn't know.
No. Oh, yeah. My friend Sarah, it was so funny because she heard what I was doing and then because the chorus, they echo what I'm saying. So I'll sing something and they'll go, da, 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 like as an aside. So she was the only one paying attention to the fact that I was singing different words. And so she started singing the words that I was singing louder so that they all did it at the same time. Just like
helping each other.
Wild.
You read a lot, right?
I do. Not as often anymore. God, I love to read, but I think a lot of the time I just find myself so tired these days. I've been doing a lot more audiobooks just because it's like the second I prefer to sit down and physically read.
Sure.
But it's just like sometimes when you have all of this stuff going on, you sit down to do it and all of a sudden you're like, you feel like you're drifting off, right?
Right. Yeah.
I wish I had more time.
Well, I get it. I mean, you remind me at this point in your career of a couple of country friends, Tiger Lily Gold, who are now blew up.
Yeah.
They played Look Bright in Broadway for the longest time.
Oh, wow.
And there was like a 6-month period where it was like everybody kind of knew where they were going, but they would still play Broadway, and it was like a little interesting spot.
Yeah. That's really cool. I didn't know that about them. I do appreciate popular country music. Like I don't always put it on in the car, but funny enough, that song I Try to Ring On, I started working on that a couple of weeks ago because I thought this is a great current country song, and for me, very relatable.
Yeah.
So
Hard workers, and so I get it. But I am curious, like, how do you take care of yourself and your energy, Kiely, at this? Because we're sitting here today. And I'm not tooting your horn. Like there's a lot of buzz around you. Your album is absolutely outstanding. Maddie Diaz is coming. Or Kind of Fest Showcase is coming. There's a lot of great stuff.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here, by the way. But you still gotta, do the Broadway thing, and you still gotta take care of yourself. Well. How do you do it?
It's hard. It's hard. I feel like I absolutely could be a lot better about it. And I think, a big one is that when you're out and you're socializing, and because that is also important, like you have to do that. You have to be networking. However, it's like, I think I speak for not just myself, but most of us when I say, yeah, I probably could have done without that last whiskey the other night.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
but you do it and you hang out there.
And they gained like 22 pounds when I moved to Nashville.
Really?
Just like drinking beer, like 1 beer here, 2 whiskeys here. Like,
it's hard.
I get it.
It's hard. Yeah. That's so funny. Oh my God. Yeah. The beer weight, that'll happen.
Yeah. And so you move here and all of a sudden there's cool things on Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays.
And every day of the week.
It's like I should sleep, but Jack White's playing at the blah blah. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, we could go to the Blue Room and go watch this band that, has a lot of buzz around them that nobody's seen yet. So it's like, well, of course we're going to do that.
Exactly.
And then everybody wants to hit it hard. Everybody here can hit it hard, drinking wise.
Oh my God. Kiely, let me talk about a few of the songs in my own company, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I really talked a little bit about them. But obviously Restless Bones for my audience that may not have heard it. How hard is it after a tragedy as a singer-songwriter to put a song in that? Because I've heard both sides. My friend Yola, she says that it takes her 2 years after tragedy to be able to put something into paper. As other people I've heard, they're like, it's like with tears. So how was writing a song like that for you? How did that happen?
For that, it was an interesting thing because I think that I've learned over the very long time that it's been, because this was in high school when I found that out.
That's right.
And
for my audience that doesn't know, one of your really, really good friends, committed suicide.
And I still remember that, I was walking into school and they made an announcement on the loudspeaker because it was like, everybody had to know, as it here, funeral. Yeah, and it wasn't like, I think now when I'm retelling it, it sounds like it's insensitive, but that's not how it was meant.
No.
But I remember the principal just saying, we've lost someone. And then when he said my friend's name, I just remember stopping where I was.
Were you late? Or were people
I was late. Yeah.
We're in class and you were late.
Yeah. The hallway was empty.
That makes it more dramatic.
I know. And I'm, you're carrying in all your stuff. I didn't have time to go to my locker. So I'm just standing there. Yeah. I was kind of I don't know, towards the end, I was really in my early depressive state. So I sort of was, it was more like Ali Sheedy from The Breakfast Club, where she's just I carried my stuff everywhere because I didn't want to go to my locker. I just always was, I was like done with it. I never really wanted to be there to begin with in high school. I'm an intellectual, but I don't thrive in academia.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I want to learn things when I want to learn them on my own terms. But for that, it was one of those moments where I think over the years, I figured out, I sort of had an aha moment where I realized that's the reason why I navigate my life the way that I do, is because when you lose someone, when you're that young, because they thought that hope was absolutely lost.
Yeah.
I mean, that changes you forever.
That's a sobering thing. I mean, we got a tragedy in my high school too. More like a tumor thing went past. But yeah, that kind of brings you back to like, oh, life is real.
Life is real. Right. And I think like it's another interesting thing. My parents, for me, were a little bit older when they had me. They were already in their 30s, which like for a late 80s baby, they were older, you know?
Time, yeah.
So I had already like always been going to funerals for different things, like aunts and uncles, you know, older. I mean, they all lived pretty long. Like one of them lived to be 110, but it's just like, you do that. So I wasn't, it's not like I didn't understand death. I think I've always had a very good understanding of life and death and birth to earth and all of these things. And it just was strange because I think you feel like you're immune to things like that when you're that age.
Yes. You think you're going to live forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the fact that he felt like his life was over. He wanted it to be over. He never saw his graduation. Right. I don't think he saw prom unless I'm timing that out wrong in my head. Yeah. Sometimes over time you're like, oh, that's weird that that's when it happened, because in my mind, this is what it looked like on that day. Your memory will shift sometimes. But as far as I know, I don't know if he ever got to experience love, you know? Those are really sad things. Yeah. When someone who's that age feels that hopeless.
Especially like, you know, like at my age, your age, we've been through a few things now in life, and now you know that it's like life is seasons. Mm-hmm. Winter, no matter how cold, it doesn't last forever.
No.
So it's like, you know, you wish that someone like that would have had that kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sing songs like this, Kiely, especially you're so theatrical, and so you like it because I've seen you perform on YouTube, and I'll see you live shortly. But I would imagine that you don't go through the motions. I mean, you connect to each and every song. Is it hard to sing a song like that?
Some nights it's hard when you remember it. When you remember him, it gets hard. It's this weird thing where sometimes if you feel like you're in that headspace, you have to tread very carefully. Yeah. Because yeah, it actually happened to me, not on that song, but on another song on the record, on You Won't Notice It. Mm-hmm. I had never sung it live, and I did it at my showcase. Okay. And I kind of lost it a little bit, and I was a little bit embarrassed. Yeah. It's a hard thing to do where you want to put yourself in the song because it is personal. And also, I think we owe it to our audience not to phone it in. We owe it to them to show up and be real, because I think that's what we need from each other, is a little bit more realness.
Totally. I love it. And I mean, Damn Hands is the other one, because that one is something so relatable now. Mm-hmm. I think it's like a universal thing.
It is.
And you attack this with this modern day dating with such great songwriting, but also some humor.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. What?
Yep.
Yeah, because it was interesting. I had this chorus that I had been working on and reworking, and I was hanging out with my buddy Sean, who I've known him for such a long time, probably since he was like 19 years old, which is so weird to think, and he still is one of my best friends. But Sean and I really bond over the fact that we love rock and roll so much and we love grunge so much. So when we were hanging out together, and I kind of had this part of it already, but he was like, what are things that you always want to do to someone when they disrespect you? So that was kind of how we went through and did the verses. And I do think it's really funny because, yeah, have you ever had a black eye? Well, you're getting one tonight if you keep this up, buddy. It's relatable, and I think for everybody. Yeah. I had a friend who he's a bartender, and we were all out at Mickey's, and funny enough, in this case, it was a woman who wouldn't leave him alone. And she wouldn't stop like touching him and whispering to him in a certain way. And it's just like, that's disrespectful. Yeah. And then he kind of was saying, hey, Kiely, when that happens, you're supposed to tell people that you're my girlfriend. we need to get out of here. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Oh my God, Kiely. Well, you're being so good with your time. And I think you're going to perform a song for us, but let me leave you with that. There's a lot of like that longing for connection in the songs in this album. You capture that well. Why do you think, Kiely, why do you think it's so hard to connect nowadays, for lack of a better word? And just listening to your first album, you get it. You get the connection is everything in life and all that stuff. But like, I just love talking to you. Why do you think connection is like so fleeting now? It's like,
I think it's because we're also connected to our phones and connected to technology, which is weird. I don't want to come off like I'm anti-technology because I use it a lot. I'm on it all the time. I want to connect with people who connect with the music because, if they love it, then that makes me feel so heard, which is such a gift, right? So I'm on it all the time, but we have to make a real effort to not let that pull us away from truly human. Yes. And it never will be. I mean, even with dating apps. Oh my God, I hate dating. I did too. They're horrible.
It's like it's not. I don't think they work.
No,
I don't think they work. Period.
No, I don't think they do either because, and don't get me wrong, I've met lovely people. I don't want to paint it that way. I think usually if I spend any time with someone, whether it's like one date or whatever, usually I have a pretty good picker. Some people do not have a good picker. I have a pretty good picker, but they're still, I don't really think that they've been right for me. That's right. Where it's like, I think that they're great on all of these levels, but it feels like it's disjointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's strange because we're all just going on there and choosing photos that we like of ourselves and crafting this image that we like to attract to this partner. But it's like, what if the people that we're trying to attract are the wrong people?
Yeah.
It's strange. It's like you're crafting a character in a book and then you want this character to be viewed a certain way. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, well, maybe that's not really the character that you are.
Right. Which is on an energetic level. Mm-hmm. For lack of a more precise term, you can't bullshit the universe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I completely agree.
The energetic level is like, okay, take that photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this might not be the best representation of my soul and what I'm bringing to the table,
Right, Kiely. Oh my God, you're going on such an exciting journey, and we're so thrilled for you. And congratulations. I mean, really, a gem of an album.
Thank you.
At least a masterpiece.
Thank you so much. I feel very proud of it, and I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Absolutely. Yeah, do you want to take us away with a song?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it. This is called My Own Company. Of my few real relationships, ours is by far most complex. I know what you're thinking, sometimes I know what you'll say next, but I don't understand why you do what you do. No, it ain't like I might try it.
to, and someone who wants to be loved won't let anyone but a minute for life, whatever that looks like. Won't you forgive me, 'cause I can't keep living in this dim light. I know I didn't turn out to be the girl of your dreams, and it's getting harder to keep my own company. I look in the mirror and tell you things you don't believe. As if the mantras could drown these insecurities. Too late for babies and 401ks, and too young to be in so much damn pain. But I'm in it for life, whatever that looks like. And I can't forgive me, 'cause I'm too damn busy most of the time. I know I didn't turn out to be the girl of your dreams, and it's getting harder to keep my own company. I could start drinking again, go on a bender, throw myself into the Cumberland. But a minute for life, whatever that looks like. I gotta forgive me if I ain't got it in me somewhere inside. 'Cause maybe I could still turn out to be the girl of my dreams, and find it all I wanna keep is my own company.
My chills of chills. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from J-Rod Concert Media.